Welcome back to the show, everyone.
Thanks for joining us today.
If you're looking at NEET 2026, you know just how intense the pressure is. But what happens if your score isn't in that top tier? Does it mean the dream of getting an MBBS right here in India is over? Well, today we're going to dig into the surprising answer to that question and uncover some paths that, honestly, a lot of students just don't even know exist.
This is the fear, right? This is what keeps people up at night. You think, I got a low NEET score, so I guess my only choice is to pack my bags and head abroad. But here's the thing. That's not the whole story. Not even close. Let's break down why.
You see, to really get a handle on your options, you've got to stop thinking only about your score. The reality of medical admissions in India, it really boils down to two absolutely crucial factors. Your NEET score, yeah, but also your family's budget. And this is where the strategy really comes into play. Look, if both your score and your budget are on the lower side, then yeah, MBBS abroad is probably your main option. But, and this is the real game changer, if you have a qualifying score and a pretty significant budget, a whole new world of possibilities opens up right here in India.
So what kind of budget are we even talking about? Well, for the entire 5-year MBBS course, you're generally looking at an investment somewhere between 60 lakh and 1 crore rupees. I know it's a huge amount, but this is the key that can unlock those doors inside India.
So let's say you have the budget. How do you actually get a medical seat with just a qualifying NEET score? Well, the answer is in understanding these specific admission paths that are built right into the Indian system. Paths that most people just overlook them.
The secret lies in two specific categories. The management quota, those are seats reserved by private college management, and the NRI quota. For today, we're really going to zero in on that NRI quota, because its rules can have some really surprising and often misunderstood opportunities.
All right, let's zoom in and take a much closer look at this NRI quota. Understanding how it works, and especially how the rules can change, like dramatically from state to state, is so important if this is a path you're thinking about.
So first off, what is it? Simply put, the NRI quota sets aside a certain number of seats for students who are either NRIs themselves or, and this is the important part, are sponsored by an NRI. And that sponsorship piece, that's where things get really, really interesting.
To see how this works in the real world, let's start with our first case study, Punjab. Their rules for the NRI quota are known for being pretty straightforward, pretty easy to understand.
You see, in Punjab, the NRI connection has to be immediate. Either you, the student, have to be an NRI, or your mother, or your father. That's it. It's a very clear-cut requirement.
And we're not talking about just any colleges here. This quota can get you a seat in 4 government colleges, plus really respected places like DMC and CMC Ludhiana. And here's a little insider tip. At some places, like AYUSH Bathinda, you might even be able to negotiate the fees under this quota.
Okay, so this brings up the next big question, right? The Punjab rule is awesome if your parents are NRIs, but what if they're not? Are you just out of luck? Well, not necessarily.
And for that, we're going to move on to our second case study, Haryana, because this state has a very specific rule that deals with this exact situation. It's called the Category 6 rule. So, what on earth is Category 6? Honestly, it's another game changer. It basically expands the whole definition of who can be an NRI sponsor. It goes beyond just your parents to include other close blood relatives. And this just blows the doors wide open for a much bigger group of students. The rules in Haryana basically say your sponsor can be one of your first-degree blood relatives. So we're talking about your maternal uncle, your paternal aunt, your paternal uncle, your maternal aunt, and, get this, even their children, your first cousins, as long as they have NRI status.
Okay, so we've looked at the rules for Punjab and Haryana, and we've seen that the system is way more flexible than most people think. So now the focus comes back to you. How do you take all this info and actually figure out your own personal path forward?
I think the most important thing to take away from all this is simple. A low NEET score is not a dead end for your dream of becoming a doctor in India. It's just not. If you have the right budget, a whole world of options can open up. Options you probably didn't even know were on the table. So, what are your next steps? Well, it starts with having a really honest conversation about your family's budget. Then you can start mapping out your family tree to see if you have any potential NRA sponsors, especially keeping those flexible Haryana rules in mind. After that, you can start the really detailed research into specific colleges and, of course, think about where in India you'd actually want to live and study for 5 years.
And that brings us to the final question we'll leave you with.
Now that you know that a low score doesn't automatically mean you have to go abroad, how does this change things? How does this new information affect the way you plan for your future in medicine? Because the path you thought was closed might just be waiting for you to find the right key.
Want to know the secret to getting into a top MBBS university abroad without breaking the bank? Just type MBBS abroad or study abroad and send us a WhatsApp message right now. Get a free consultation call with our study abroad experts and discover lowest fee universities, NMC approved colleges, complete admission process free. Don't let confusion hold you back. Message MBBS abroad today and start your medical journey. Link in description. Hurry, limited slots available.